the 1995 Source Awards, right? How was it like being at that show? Because there was a lot going on during that show, man. You had Suge Knight, he got on stage and made the comments he made. You had Snoop, he got on stage and made the comments he made. How was it like being at that show?
From my point of view, what people got to realize is that that night was almost, I know, some of us, that was the first time that we saw each other in the flesh. Most of us watched each other on BET. So understand that that Source Award was the emergence of Death Row, was the emergence of So Def, the emergence of Organized Noise, the emergence of just the Wu-Tang Clan, RZA. It was so many factors in that room that night. And I can tell you, as a young man during that time, it felt like being out on a prison yard with a whole bunch of gangsters, and everybody was there to let it be known. It was like the movie The Warriors, when all the gangs come together and everybody for the first time we get to smell each other. Like Pimp used to say, "You gonna smell my cologne." You know what I mean? That was the first time. That was the night that Corrupt and Daz went outside and battled all the MCs, let them know, man, the West Coast here, man, we can rap. And he served them. Corrupt served everything that stepped up that night and stood up for the West. So you got to understand that's the first time that Bone Thugs and Harmony, they was there. So it was just, man, to see the Wu-Tang at that time, they was in there 100 deep. Staten Island was so deep that night. And I can tell you, everybody felt disrespected to a certain degree. Wu-Tang felt like New York didn't mess with them. We felt like New York didn't mess with us. The West Coast felt like New York didn't. All it was just young men wanting to be heard and wanted to be respected for their art. And for nobody to say, "Hey man, if it ain't from here, we don't hear it." And I think that night really put that chip on everybody's shoulder that made everybody go back home and create masterpieces after that Source Award.
Yo, what was your reaction, man, when Suge Knight got on stage and said what he said?
I mean, he was directing that at somebody. But I mean, if you look at it during that time, it was a lot of people that did that. Jermaine could have took that. He talking to me, you know what I mean? Puff could have took that, you know what I mean? Reek was in our videos, Organized Noise was in our videos, you know what I mean? RZA was in the Wu-Tang them videos, It was like everybody could have took that, like, for real, So and hey man, Suge was a polarizing individual, man. He was He's a Taurus for one, natural born leader. So him doing that, I really think he put the competition on front line that night for everybody. Like, hey man, Death Row here. And if you think about it, man, nobody has started that. Nobody then until now. I don't feel like nobody's beat that stage show from that night. That Death Row with all them cats in them cells, even the performance from the Grammys the other night. Great performance, DJ Khaled. Great performance, Jay, Wayne, Ross. Great performance. But I think nothing in rap history touches that Death Row show from the Source Awards, 1996. Nothing. That shit was incredible. Cause just think about it. Just that night alone, how many styles came out of those people that was there? From the Wu, from us. I'm talking about how many lyrical assassins that was in the play. You talking about DJ Quick, you talking about MC8, that feud was going on at the same time. You gotta understand, there was so many things going on in that room that it just felt very much like being on the yard in a prison, because it was just a lot of male testosterone at its youngest and at its best.